patch notes, right? Fixed an issue where Torture Mastery description was incorrect. So they had changed it. The tooltip read that it was 1 HP per curse per second, per tick on the curses with a 10% scaling, which was the way it was before, even though they increased the cost of the curses to, if you were running Torture Mastery, you had a cost of 8 per spell, which would have made it 16, which would have meant you would have netted like 8 health in total on both curses if you like double cursed mobs. That actually wasn't real, and it was still 2 healing per curse and 5% attribute bonus ratio, which from what I've been told from the data mining guys didn't make sense because the tooltips are auto-updated based on the variables that are in the game files. So even though it was still healing for 2, it was reading as 1, but it was still healed for 2, so it didn't make any damn sense. But that has been remedied, so it never actually got worse. It never actually went to 1 HP per curse. It was still 2 the whole time, but whatever. Fixed an issue where Druid Rat form could regenerate more health than intended. They finally fixed that. Warlock Blood Pact health penalty changed from minus 1.5 to minus 2% per second, so they're making Blood Pact hurt more again. As long as they don't go to 3%, I guess we'll be fine, because that was bullshit. It sucked. Curse of Pain instant damage attribute bonus ratio changed from 50 to 75%, so they gave us a slight buff from the nerf. They halved it, and now they gave us back like 25%, so Warlocks are going to have a little bit more damage, I guess. Francesca Axe damage has been significantly reduced. I don't know what that ended up being, actually. We'll have to look. But throwing knife damage has been significantly reduced. Good. The throwing meta being with the double stack Francesca's with a 30% speed movement penalty when you get hit by it on top of the damage that they were doing was kind of absurd. That was an issue that we experienced like 2 seasons ago when everybody was bitching about how people were running around with like an inventory full of Francesca's. That's still going to be a thing, but people will be using it for the slow, which will be probably more important than the damage that it will do. I think you're still going to end up getting caught because like barbs are just going to run with an inventory full of Francesca axes, but you know, whatever. We'll see how it plays out. Top Helm's armor rating has been reduced and its movement speed penalty has been increased. The sales quantity, price, and craft material quantity of Franny axes and throwing knives have been adjusted, and the adventurer rank has been delayed by a week due to AP adjustments being needed. So the AP thing actually makes sense to me. They have to rewrite how AP works. They've probably been working on it for several weeks now, but as we know, like they're supposed to have a verdict on this court case with SDF and everyone's involvement. It was supposed to have been yesterday, but they still don't have a verdict, I don't think. Or if they do, it hasn't hit any news media. Like there isn't any gaming media in Korea that's talking about it like at all. So I don't know like what's going on there. But the AP system definitely needs to be like revamped. However they're going to revamp it. They said in the Q&A that they were going to be focusing on boss kills, mini boss kills, and large chests being opened. And I don't know if they're going to give any like value to treasure or armor stuff that's being taken out. PvP kills will probably have some amount of like AP value, but we don't know exactly how that's going to hash out. So whenever they get around to opening up leaderboards for the AP system, because it was supposed to open tonight. It was supposed to open tonight in like 8 hours. But instead of that happening, now it's going to be a week and 8 hours from now. And we'll have to see like what the AP system does. So this time next week, you know, well tonight, I guess, next week, we will get in there and start testing and see what the reward values are for doing certain things and see what the costs are going to be and how that's going to weigh out and whether or not people are going to be able to get demigod easy or if it's going to be difficult or somewhere in between or whatever. I don't think it's going to be chest opening. I think it's going to be primarily based around killing mini bosses and bosses. So like, you know, skelly champs and harpies and the demon dogs in Inferno and wendigos and yetis and that kind of stuff will end up being the things that probably generate the majority of the AP points. And then, you know, the boss kills will probably be like an extra bump, but I don't think it's going to be, I think the mini bosses are going to be primary. And I think that the treasure chests, like the large chests, will end up having like some amount of a benefit to them, but I don't think they're going to be huge. My cat is over here, like just playing with ping pong balls on the floor. That's what all that little like chippy noise is. Cut it out. What you doing? You're crazy. But yeah, so I think that's really going to be it. So they probably just don't have the values, like, because it's all going to be ratio, right? It's going to be like, what's the buy-in cost going to be, and then how much is somebody realistically going to be able to kill and farm before they have to get out, and how much do they get for getting out, and how does that weigh against like what the total potential could be versus like what the buy-in cost is at high rank, and can somebody actually like eke it out? How difficult is that going to be on a repetition style basis? How much is it going to hurt if somebody dies, right? Like there's all those things that they have to weigh. So while the old system was like, once you had experience, the old system being really, really easy to get that done, it was really boring and mundane. You know, there's a reason why somebody like Jay waited 7 weeks to bother even trying to do it anyway, because you could do it any fucking time you wanted to. It doesn't feel like it's something that you have to like maintain, you know? So we'll have to see how they end up doing it. Whatever they change is going to be a step in the right direction, I think. Hopefully they end up coming up with some like good system for it, you know? All right. Anyway, that's what I have for this. We'll say bye-bye to YouTube, and we'll get on to Daka Daka and play some video games. All right?